Hello everybody, this is Modified Darvis Box MDB and I'm got another video for you. So this one here is on stocks to avoid with the terrible turd sandwich day we had today. I thought it was appropriate to maybe show some stocks which are on my avoid list. They've all set up in the Darvis box setup. They've broken down on big red volume, and to me, they are just off limits. You can watch them, but I don't think you should be buying them. You see on the screen, a lot of people don't know about Nicholas Darvis and Darvis boxes and what they are. Well, it's all from this book, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. I read this book. I loved it. I saw a system in it and decided to create my own system based on the principles in the book. Look it up on Amazon. I think you'll enjoy it, but more importantly, it has real trades in it, which you can verify, look up the stock charts, etc. And this is back from the 1950s and 1960s. So if Nicholas Darvis was able to be that successful back then, there's no reason why we can't be successful using some of the stuff he created nowadays. What is a Darvis box? Well, here's a great picture I took off the internet. It basically highlights a range. I put a rectangle on it. I call it a Darvis box, but really it's just a rectangle. There's no real magic, but it just shows, like a consolidation or something. And we hope that the price breaks out higher, and if it does, we want to buy it. On the flip side, if it's turning into a bear market, then we see this consolidation range, and when price breaks down, we want to sell it and get out of it, or short it and make some money on the downside. So that's kind of how Darvis boxes work, and it's sort of the basis of what I do, what I look for. Except I throw in a few extra tools and stuff to try and enhance my probability, but in a nutshell, it's kind of simple. Okay, here's the index. Out of the three major indexes, the Russell 2000 is the first one to create a box. Had one attempted breakdown here, but it wasn't much volume. But now look here, big red sell volume, and now it's broken downwards out of the box. To me, that's a bearish sign, bearish signal, and I think I'm going to be looking to maybe short this, or at least be cautious, on guard, etc. The S&P 500 is looking not too healthy, but it's still within a box, well, developing in a box. We don't know, the bottom parameter hasn't really been fixed yet, but I put it there to show you what that sort of looks like. The NASDAQ also in a box, and yeah, not looking so good, but still within a box. But again, the Russell 2000 is the only one to have created a valid range and now is dropping out of it to the downside. So let's get into the stocks which are on my avoid list. Now this list, yeah, I keep tabs on these stocks, but yeah, there ain't no way I'm buying them. Are you crazy? But we may want to short them. But mostly probably just watch them and just avoid them. Staying out of trouble can save you a lot of money. So AAXN had some big red volume here. That was a red flag. Then on earnings, oh, and by the way, again, earnings are these green arrows. Had earnings recently. Yeah, they did something wrong. Sold off on big red volume. Came out of the box. Yeah, this one's a no-go. AMRN. AMRN, God, this one is just a torture minefield for longs because it's got so much potential, but the road to getting to that potential is really, really bumpy. Formed a box, had a breakout on big green volume right there. I was super excited about that. I bought some, but then you know what? It started to fail right away. They did a secondary, and yeah, not so good. Then they had earnings, even worse, and now they've broken downwards out of the box on big red volume. Yeah, this one, keep an eye on it, but I won't be buying it anytime soon. It's gotta turn itself around. BYND, everybody knows BYND, how it destroyed a bunch of short sellers. Well, it hasn't formed a box yet, but it's on my avoid list because it did what I call a volume blowout, and now it's down and not showing any signs of life either way. It's just something I want to avoid. CDNA, this one was so promising, but yeah, showed some big red volume as a warning signal. Had earnings. Yeah, they just weren't good enough because something happened. Big red volume, but this time it broke downwards out of the box. Yeah, that's an avoid to me. CyberArk, CYBR, formed a box, had a green volume breakout. I got excited over this one. I thought it was going to go a lot higher, but then something happened on the way to going to 200. Yeah, sold off on big volume, reported earnings, big red volume bar, and now it's coming down. And the way the Bollinger Bands are tilting downwards, it makes me wonder if this is going to go down even a lot more. On the avoid list. DOCU, again, formed a nice long sideways box. Broke down out of it on its past earnings, but somehow managed to claw its way back in. But it just can't hold up in it. Sold off on big red volume. Yeah, it's on the avoid list. But I'm watching it, but it's on the avoid. Etsy formed a long Darvis box. Had earnings back here in May. Clawed its way back into the box. Yeah, sort of up and down. But again, another earnings. Sold off on big red volume. Yeah, and now this sell-off is stuck. Gone from, 70 down to 52? Ugh. And you know what? Honestly, it looks like it's going to go down in the 40s for all I know. But look at these warning signs. Big red volume. Big red volume. More big red volume. Not something that I want to own. Avoid. PD. This one was a promising IPO. Formed a box, but couldn't stay in it. Broke downwards out of it. Not big volume, but again, this is a list of stocks I want to avoid. I'm not going to be buying. So that one makes the list. RGNX, promising biotech, but its time is just not now. Maybe farther in the future, who knows? But again, you see the same pattern, formed a box, sold off on big red volume, had earnings, but the price keeps going down. Yeah, I won't be buying it. Revolve Group, RVLV, this one you can see, formed a box, broke down on earnings, and now just keeps going down. Look at this. I actually tried this one on a signal here, like around 35, 36, somewhere in there. Now it's at 22. We should have been betting against this one. Good Lord. SWAV, another stock to avoid. It formed a box. Now broke downwards out of it. Had earnings, big red volume. Avoid. TWLO. This has been one of the phenomenal stocks. But now, you know what? The tide may be moving out instead of coming in. Formed a latest box here. Moved up, but nope. Had earnings. Sold off big red volume. Tried to claw back into the box on some pretty big green volume, which I thought was promising. But yeah, the market's just going to drag this thing down. I don't know. This one might even be heading down to like 100. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it, but it's on the avoid list. Uber, what a big pile of garbage this one is. Formed a box and sold off the week before earnings. Had earnings, big red volume, and look at that. From 40 down to 34. Man, they're just losing money hand over fist. Yeah, this is something you want to avoid. It's just not ready yet. And the last one on the list is Wayfair. I like Wayfair. I've shopped from them, gotten furniture from them, but they just can't seem to make any money. but the sales keep going up, but it's not enough to keep the stock price higher. Formed a box, sold off. Look at this. It's had 5 weeks of red sell volume. Yeah, you think they're trying to get out of it? I think so. This earnings bar here, they had earnings, didn't do a dang thing to stop the decline. So it's on the avoid list. I won't be buying it. So as you can see, some stocks to avoid. They all set up this pattern, and unfortunately, these ones have broken downwards in price instead of upwards. So either avoid it, or you could take a crack at it short. I don't know, but just ones that are on my avoid list. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.